Here's a controversial take, but seeing the beauty in everything is not going to heal you. Seeing the beauty in everything is going to have you feel deeper sense of gratitude, deeper sense of love for others. But it's not going to heal you. What is going to heal you is once you embody that feeling and bring in the practice towards yourself. Things like this that made me feel like I was spiritually bypassing my life, my healing journey for so long by simply going out into nature and worshiping nature, worshiping anything else other, even worshiping past memories, other people's opinions, ideas over who I am, over the truth of who I am. And that is honestly what I feel spirituality is doing so much these days, is putting emphasis on being love and light, but you don't want to get your hands dirty, but you don't want to come into full radical honesty. And full radical honesty comes when you face those emotions, when you face your fears, your thoughts, and you allow it to exist as they are so that they can be removed, so that they can be released, so that you can validate your own emotions and know that the experience that you had experienced was in fact traumatic, and you are able to hold space for it and acknowledge that the story that you had created around this event doesn't actually mean anything about who you are. And the only way for you to do that, for you to create separation, is to release the emotional charge behind the story, is to give yourself an outlet, is to give yourself the validation that you have been seeking. And the reason why I say validation is because a lot of people don't know and aren't aware that the reason why you are replaying the same pattern, going back to the same ex, or finding yourself, replacing one addiction, one habit for another habit, another addiction, is because you haven't gotten the validation. It's because you haven't received some kind of support or care, or haven't been seen, or haven't been heard, or you haven't had outlet to express those emotions, or you have been replaying them over and over again in order to confirm a false belief that you aren't worthy, or you aren't good enough, or you don't deserve good things. If you fall into this category, into the last one, you have to reframe something about you. Now that you had experienced the emotion, you can in fact become intertwined with that emotion and make it mean something about you. You are not the story, and you are not the emotion. The emotion is an experience that is felt in body. And the more that you practice an emotion, the more you're training your body and your brain to produce the same chemicals because of that experience, because of the same practice. Two things that you can do is, one, hold space for your emotions that have been suppressed, neglected, rejected, dismissed, if you fall into that category, to be expressed, to be felt, to be validated. And in contrast, if you're somebody who consistently lives in the emotion, are you somebody that suppresses the emotion? Then you might want to go back to the first one. But if you're somebody that has already came to terms with what had happened, and you feel like you're just replaying it because you want to stay in the same negative loop, in the same negative cycle, then that is where affirming your positive affirmations and retraining your focus in lifetime is what's going to help you. It was going to retrain you neurologically. When you retrain your focus, that means that you're going about your day and you see, an apple tree outside, and all of a sudden you thought about that one time you dropped an apple, and you make that apple mean something about who you are today and how you're incapable. That moment right there is an opportunity to reframe and retrain your focus, because we are all living on autopilot and subconsciously aren't being aware of where our thoughts are going, where our energy and attention and focus are going. We don't only do affirmations and these reframing practices at night or when you're home alone. You do it every single time throughout the day. You do it every single time you find yourself reverting back to a pattern, reverting back to the same narrative, because that is the way that you retrain your brain. It's not something you just sit down and do daily for 30 minutes, but rather a practice that you do continuously to retrain your focus.